This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free.
Hey, y'all. Oh, I was like, where's my... There it is. It's good to see y'all. Sorry that I was running late today. My husband took his truck to work, and then he got all the way to work, and the daggum tire come slap off the rim. So I had to drive all the way to his job, go get him a tire, and drive all the way back. I sincerely apologize about rescheduling the live so much. I hate when people do that. I cannot stand it. I can't stand it when people are late for a live, so I apologize. I know that's annoying. I do appreciate y'all understanding and being here. Let me say hey to y'all. Lori Green, Tony, Kat, Gray Moon, Sally Carson, Cara, Pointer Lover, Abelis. Good to see y'all. Rubber Ramada, Jenny, Jen, Edith, Chloe Moon, Maurice Australia. Good to see you. Southern Cats, Indie Girl, Heathen. Moth's Mummy. Good to see you. Mommy Ball, good to see you. Lisa Elliott, Sue Joy, Amanda, Heel Sandra, Anders, Rubber Ramada, Miss Kimmy Akers, and Mike Philbin is who I see right now. Brittany, good to see you. Good to see you all. I don't know why it looks like that, but okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to start going through these interviews, basically just listening for what day they state Stephan arrives. I do have the maps, but I have not had time to get them yet together. So I will have to do that tomorrow. But for now, we can go all the way back to the very beginning and start listening to the interviews. Hey, sweetie Brookshire. Good to see you. Dee Dee. Lori. I think I said hey to everybody else. Tony. I do want to let y'all know that now there is a goat, and they are going to get more right now. My oldest daughter is with them on the way to go get more goats. So if you hear a goat, there is now a goat with all the chickens, and my free-range rabbit is in the house. He's laying on the bed. So let's go. Didn't mean to go back that far. Okay. We don't need the 911 calls. We don't need where he shows them. I think we're going to start with the first recap from Jen. Please, hey, Matilda Marie, please hit the like button on your way in so we can get out into the algorithm. I do have my notebook, my pen and paper. You know what I was thinking too today as I got in and was going, just sitting here for a minute.
Okay, so
before I went live, I'm thinking that I'm going to go grab the original audios and then get the stuff that they just released, like the 8-minute clip and the 1-minute clip. And I'm going to try to put it into the audios where it's supposed to be and re-release them as a full entire audio with what was once redacted, now unredacted. Yes, there is a goat here now. And they're going to get more. Lord have mercy, I might have a whole farm. I wish they were mine. They're not. The only one mine is the free-range rabbit. All right, here we go.
You needed some good sleep. So was it about 11 o'clock?
Yeah.
Hey, Irene.
I sent them upstairs, and I went to bed.
Okay. And that was about 11?
Yeah.
And do you guys normally all sleep together? Because I know you said that she sleeps in your room with you typically, right?
She sleeps with me typically. Typically when he comes into town, because he lives with his parents in Northport, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes to town, he'll sleep in the guest.
Real quick, one thing that is different that we were noticing in some of these interviews and the paperwork, and I actually got an email about it, is that some of the names have been redacted. We believe, me and Hio were talking about that. I do believe that has to do with Marcy's law. I think it's Marcy. There is a law that states that victims of a crime, like basically their names have to be redacted. So they're going back through, and we were comparing homicide, the several thousand page homicide indictment, the new one to the old one. And in the new one, there's like names, addresses, things like that that are redacted now that were not redacted to begin with. So she said that we're thinking that it has to do with, I think it's called Marcy's Law, and it's where they have to redact information about victims. So that is one thing that's different too, that I just wanted to make sure I told everybody. Julie, good to see you. Annabelle. And I know I said hello to Irene.
The guest bedroom.
Okay. And Stephan is the one you're referring to, right?
Yeah, Stephan's room.
Stephan. How often does he stay here?
Oh.
Lies.
He moved away back in December, so I'm going to say he's visited at least 2 to 3 times since then.
Okay. Why did he move away?
Hey, Veronica.
He was offered a better, well, his dad had offered him a job, but it fell through.
Oh.
So now we're trying to get him back here.
And he just visits?
Yeah.
When he visits, does he stay for like hours, days, weeks?
I would say days. This time we had planned on him staying a whole week because I was going through training at work. So I wanted him to be here to help me with the dog, help me with the training.
Okay, so this time he was planning to stay for a week. How long has he been here?
The long pause.
Or when did he arrive, rather, this time?
I can't remember if he arrived Saturday or Sunday morning.
Okay, so there.
Okay, that's fine. Sometime.
The first recap, can't remember if he arrived Saturday or Sunday morning. Now, this is your first time, as far as from what I'm thinking, it's the first time that she's talking to the police since Maddie's been missing. Now, if he arrived Sunday night, it would have been dark out. You would have just got off work. I mean, every other interview from here, it's dark, supposedly, when he got there, because it would have been 8:30 or 9 o'clock after her birthday party on Sunday evening. Jen got home from work at 10:30, supposedly saw Maddie, even though I don't think she ever did, and they went to bed. But here you're saying you can't remember if he arrived Saturday or Sunday morning when the sun is up and the butterflies and all the birds are out chirping and just singing. So, I mean, there's a big difference in Sunday morning and Sunday night. Like one, the sun's up, the birds are out, everybody, it's a beautiful day. And then the other one, it's dark and the moon is out and all the creepy crawlies come out. That's a big issue for me. You can't remember if it was morning or night? Like, really? Kat R said, didn't he claim he got there late Sunday? Right. I'm thinking Saturday because his parents and Jen are tripped on that one. What was the purpose of breaking up? Money? Why allow this guy to come back and stay over rent-free? That's a good question. I mean, she says that he's lazy. He don't have a job, but you need him to help you, even though you get help from your family. And, he don't have a job. He can't keep a job. You're supporting him. He eats all the food. I don't know. Moth's mommy said, it's not possible that Jen could not remember. She's being vague deliberately. Why? Right. Stephan Stern's phone records should be able to show when he traveled to Maddie's home, right? Yes. I don't have them yet, and I have not been able to grab them and pull them up. And I'm going to have the cell phone records ready for tomorrow. As I'm sure you're aware, I've been extremely busy this morning. But even if we pull the records up and it shows that he arrived Sunday night, why is she having such a hard time remembering if he arrived Saturday or Sunday morning? And with him traveling without his phone, I mean, who knows? Even if the phone records we could trust at this point. I think you would remember what night you last seen your daughter, said Lori Green. Right. Okay, I'm going to skip through these interviews and we'll go to the next one. Well, we'll listen to a little bit more of this just to double check and make sure she doesn't say. But on the first recap, I wrote down, can't remember Saturday night or Sunday morning.
Time this weekend?
sometime this weekend.
So that was last night around 11. And so about what time did you hear her on Monday morning?
I heard everyone getting ready around, I'm going to say 7:30, 8 o'clock.
She heard everyone getting ready around 7:30 or 8 o'clock, but said that Stephan didn't come in and woke her up with the dog leash thing until 8:30, 8:40. The party was Sunday. Cara said she's being vague deliberately because she doesn't want to believe he'd do anything evil, but the sex stuff is okay. Right? Exactly.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
That's how I feel about that. Okay. So, and then we know that she lied when she said that she heard Maddie getting ready. First she wrote she saw her, then she wrote she heard her, and then she wrote it's just a bunch of nonsense and lies. I cannot even. We need to go through Discovery document together again, too. I don't know if we've done that on a live. I have to wait for my computer to load. Sometimes it's slow. Okay, and we'll listen to the first interview with the Canadian neighbors. There's 2 of those. That was the second one. Jennifer's immunity interview. I really feel like there's more to that. I really do. Okay, so that was the first recap. Stephan Stearns recaps the day. So we'll go to that one next.
Tuesday, February 27th, 12:05 hours. Rosie case 24-011313 is Detective Hunt. Can you state your full name?
Queen of Hearts.
Stephan Stearns.
All right, Stephan. Real quick, you just want to confirm that everything you're about to tell me is the truth?
Yeah.
Perfect. So you know kind of why I'm out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Involving. When is the last time that you saw?
Dropped her off yesterday morning.
Okay. About what time was it?
I paused it. Okay. Moth's mommy said if the party was Sunday, Jen must know whether Stephan arrived Saturday or Sunday. You would think, like, that's the issue. Why are we having such trouble remembering what day he arrived? And even if we pull up on the Verizon maps and it shows he arrived on Sunday, what if he didn't take his phone? I don't know. Why? It's not that hard to remember if somebody arrived on Saturday or Sunday, especially when it has to do with your child disappearing and you know, the last time you saw your child. And I mean, there's a big difference between night and day.
Approximately sometime between 8:25 and 8:40 is when I dropped her off.
And where were you dropping her to?
Taking her to school.
Got it. And it's my understanding that you dropped her off like a little bit away from school.
Yeah, she sometimes likes to get dropped off a bit down the road away. She likes to walk over and catch up with her friends or just not being seen, you know, getting out of a hoopty in front of school.
Okay. And when you say hoopty, you're referring to your
car that she's embarrassed to be seen getting out of.
Got it. Okay. Where did you drop her off at? Do you remember approximately?
It was.
You're good.
It was along the stretch of road, kind of where all those communities are, leading up to the overpass, and then the school is on the other side of the overpass. So I dropped her off along that stretch where all those communities are.
Gotcha. Is it like on the sidewalk or near parking lots?
There's a sidewalk there. And then they've got the church on the other side of the street, and then the overpass, and then the school. So it was maybe no more than a block away.
Okay. Is the school within like eyesight of where you drop her off? Or is
the overpass was definitely within eyesight, and the school was literally just on the other side of the overpass.
Gotcha. So if you were to guesstimate it, would it be like a quarter mile, half mile?
maybe like a
Queen of Hearts. Yeah, Abella sat yawning irritates me too. Queen of Hearts said she would remember if Stephan Stearns was there when she forgot her meds and they had a night alone in bed. They would both remember. Right. You can tell me the moment you forgot your meds, but you can't tell me if Stephan was already there at that point in time or not. I'm not buying it.
5-10 minute walk, depending on your speed.
Okay.
But she also likes the cool morning walks too. She was wearing her hoodie and she was feeling the cold weather, and she likes that.
How common is it of you to drop her off to school in the morning?
It's not common for me to do it most of the time, but I'm up here and I'm helping out as much as I can and working. So she was trying to get as much sleep as possible. And I was doing the school run this morning.
Okay. Do you live here? Do you live somewhere else, or what's that look like?
I live here, but I split my time between here and my parents' place down south in Northport. They're getting on in years and they need some help.
Got it. Okay. For how long have you lived here with them?
Oh gosh, years now, a couple of years maybe now.
Okay. And what does your time splitting look like? Are you here for
Corbin? You would think. Annabelle said, and that car wasn't a hoopty anyway. Look, let me show y'all. Let's talk about this real quick. Hold on. What is a hoopty? Let's go to images. Hoopty, meaning of hoopty in English, an old car in bad condition. He was driving a hoopty with a clothes hanger He was driving a hoopty with a clothes hanger for an antenna. A few examples. Some people get dropped off at school in the kind of hoopty that can barely make it down the street. Those are not technically hoopties. What did I do? That's a hoopty. Those are all hoopties. This is a hoopty. This is a hoopty. That's a hoopty. Like, that's a hoopty. That's a hoopty. That's a hoopty. That's a hoopty. Stephan Stearns' car was not a hoopty. He drove a very nice Lincoln that they called the Poodle ambulance, but it was not a hoopty at all. It was, but we know it was an excuse, so he didn't have to go up to the school. Everybody else said it was the first time he'd ever dropped her off. Okay, Heel. Thank you for coming in. I'll get with you. Lori said maybe Jen told him something to get him over, and the plan was to get rid of Maddie. I hope not. Lincoln is a Ford luxury brand. It is. He was driving a hoopty, but his dad lent him his to make it safe to Kissimmee, from what I remember. Yeah, I don't know what the Buick he has looks like. Hey, Gwen. Good to see you. Hey, Sandra. Thank you for saying don't forget to hit the like. I really appreciate that.
Days, weeks, months, something else?
Weeks at a time, yeah.
And so, I guess, when did you arrive this block of time that you were here?
Day before yesterday, actually.
So, Saturday?
Yeah.
I think. So you got here Saturday night.
All right.
Got it. It's down in Northport that you actually split your time with.
So he said right there he arrived Saturday night. Now let's go listen to the neighbors. Maybe. Whoever's next on the list. Hey, Kalisa. That was the first time he used that car. His gold Honda wasn't running well. Yeah, I've heard he's got a Buick too or something like that. Gray Moon said, while we're waiting for them to load, Stephan Stearns moved Saturday per his parents. Jen Soto ran out of meds, needed blood work for refills. She asked Stephan to drop them off, so she's unsure if he came Saturday or Sunday. It makes sense. I believe it, considering. All right. Put out a lot of videos since then. That daggum goat is out there going off. Okay. I want to see what his parents say. We'll go through that. So Stephan in the next one says he arrived Saturday night. Jen can't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday morning so far. What would be next? Okay. So the best friend wouldn't know. Yolanda would be next, and then I don't think the roommates would not have seen her that weekend.
Tuesday, February 27, 13, 11
Hey,
hours.
Bonnie. Hey,
Detective hunt
Christine.
for OCSO case 24
Hey, Sarah.
11313. Can you state your full name?
Hey, Jeepers.
And what's your relationship? And so, do you recall the last time you spoke?
That was Sunday. I celebrate her. Yes.
And is that the last time you saw her
That's
too?
the last time I saw her.
Got it. And so I won't keep you too long, but it's my understanding that it's not uncommon from school to hear sometimes.
She did it like a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that normally like when she's waiting for
Hey, Carrie.
pick her up or?
Yeah. Sometimes the office and pick her up.
Mhm.
She walks from school to here.
Okay.
She did it like maybe, I don't know, 5-6 times.
Okay. So just a few times she's done
Just a
that.
few times.
So that's why Jennifer would have come here yesterday to see if she had maybe.
Yes, maybe
maybe
she
come
walked
here.
here. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember what Jennifer told you yesterday?
No, she's waiting here at school, but she doesn't come out. She's not. I don't think she's here. Maybe she walked to school to the office, and I was like, okay, I'll wait here.
Mhm.
It was 4:30, 4:35, 4:40, and she never showed up.
Okay.
So and we went together to school.
We pointed this out a couple of times, but if Jen was standing outside of, if Jen was sitting outside of the school in her car and Madeline leaves to go walk to her grandmother's office, would she not have seen her walking by? Like she would have seen her coming out of the school, right? I would think so. Blue Sapphire said Stearns is a hoopty. I agree. I don't think the necklace she's wearing is from Stearns. I think she gets the mermaid tears necklace and things like that from his parents. But I don't think she's wearing that at the party that day. I think it's a crystal, like a gemstone or something. I'll look into that though. That's a good question. Hey, Karen's best.
But the office were closed.
Mhm.
It was only the after program they were open.
Mhm.
So we went to verify to the school
Mhm.
in the program. She didn't. While we went to the school, Jennifer called 2 friends that she has,
Mhm.
and they told that she never made it to school.
Got it.
That's when we found out everything. That She
Okay.
wasn't in school.
Did she tell you who took her to school yesterday?
We know Stephan, yes.
Okay.
Came here to, I don't even know, I guess for
Gotcha. Okay. So does he live there with them still, or?
While we're listening to this, I'm going to also simultaneously be trying to pull the maps for us to look at today and see if I can screenshot them. So I'm here, I'm listening, and I'm reading comments at the same time. Well, I thought it was from Wednesday, but it could have been from Friday. From what she says in this interview, Maddie stayed Friday night. I don't know about the COVID thing. I pulled up what I had on it. So I don't know that. I pulled up a couple of days ago what I had on the PPP loans, and that was all that I have. I don't know.
no.
No. Gotcha. He just came. Does he?
I guess he just came to visit.
Got it.
Yeah.
When did?
I'm not sure, but I know he moved back in December to Punta Gorda.
Mhm.
he moved out of the house.
Okay. And as far as you know, it's because they.
As far as I know, I don't know.
Got it. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. But he came back this weekend, maybe for her.
There's a lot redacted. Okay.
I guess, is it common of Stephan?
I guess sometimes he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. And did he say where?
Urbana, there is a building.
So the iridescent, it's like mermaid tears, like pretty glittery, like little gemstone type things, but I don't think it was like actually a quartz crystal. I will try to pull that picture up. I think I've got it. I'll try to email it to myself so we can pull it up. But it looked like at the little cake she's having for her 13th birthday at the house, it looked like it was a gemstone necklace, not a like a bunch of different little gemstone necklaces. Boomer said Maddie would have also seen Jen since she was the first parent there. Yep, good point. Well, the address on the PPP paperwork I have is the same, but I don't know about any kind of loans or anything like that. That's all I know about that right now. I don't know how long he had been borrowing the car. I would assume for quite a while. All right, I'm looking at the maps now and listening.
There's called Urbana. Urbana. It's town loop, and I don't even know the name of the street.
Okay. By Urbana.
I was right in the corner.
Got it. So he dropped her off there, and then did he say what happened after?
He said that he just walked, like going to school, and then she stopped for a few seconds. I guess she was looking for her phone.
Yeah.
And then he just kept going.
Okay. Run away before, or ever wanted to go somewhere else or hang out with her friends without permission or anything?
Not that I know.
Okay. Is there anywhere you know of that she likes to hang out or go to clear her head if she's ever upset, or a place that she likes to go?
One day she was upset. I guess she had a fight. And she called me crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm walking around the neighborhood. I was like, why are you doing that? She's like, I don't want to be in my house right now because I am mad at me. I was like, you know what? Go back to the house. Don't walk alone in the street. And she said, okay. So she went back. That's the only thing I knew it happens. That was, I think, like a year ago. That happened like a year ago.
Okay.
And then after that, I don't know.
Got it. Okay. Do you have any concerns with, I just ask this because I have to, do you have any concerns about either Jennifer or Stephan with ever raised alarm with you that you can remember?
I never liked him. Don't ask me why, because I don't even know myself. It's because I guess he doesn't work, he doesn't do anything. I mean, he just there because he suffers from a lot of things.
Okay.
And I mean, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't work. He doesn't help you. It's something that, it's not my life, but I just ask her, that was her answer.
Got it. So typically, does she text you or anything from the phone?
No.
Not much?
Not much.
Do you remember the last time you spoke with her before Sunday?
Well, I spoke to her Friday, because she slept over my house.
Okay.
And then Saturday, I came here to work. And after here, I was going to the party.
Gotcha.
And I told my husband to was going to take her. And she started crying. She said no, she doesn't want to go. So she didn't go at all. So my ex.
Hey, Jill. Does anyone know how old the Lincoln was? It's a 2010 Southern Cats. So she's crying. She comes Friday. That's changed for me because I thought she went Wednesday. But there she states that she came on Friday and then she's supposed to go home on Saturday and she starts crying and doesn't want to go home. Now, from what I heard, she called Stephan from the party, but in this one, it's okay. Let me stop and hold on. Okay. So from what I understand, she called Stephan from the birthday party on Saturday for some reason and talked to him about something, but he was upset Saturday for some reason. That's what his parents said. She's crying and she doesn't want to go home Saturday night. So is that because she knows Stephan is there? Is that because she knows Stephan's on the way? Or did she call Stephan on Sunday from the birthday party, and then that's when he came up? That's a question that I have listening to this. But what we can take from that is, per grandma, she was there from Friday and Saturday and then got home Sunday evening. But that would be Maddie. Grandma would not necessarily know what day Stephan arrived. We've got like a minute left of this, so I'll play this one out and we'll jump to the next.
Ex-husband went to pick her up.
Okay.
And they spend the day together.
Do you ever pick her up from school, or does your ex-husband ever pick her up from school?
Yeah. I don't know about my ex-husband, but when I have to, I'll go and pick her up. If not, Leticia.
And when you pick her up, where do you pick her up
Just
from?
from the school.
From the school.
Yeah.
Have you ever picked her up from like anywhere else far from the school?
Church. Like
Church.
Of course, yeah, like from the church.
Is that somewhere that she hangs out, or other kids hang out, or?
No. There's a lot of kids there at that time.
Oh, they kind of go there?
Yeah, a lot of kids go there. The parents will pick them up from the church.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. Okay, what's a good phone number for you? Have your ID so I can get your name down?
I have it in my
Oh, that's fine. How do you spell your name?
Yolanda.
And your last name? Your birthday?
9/29/67.
And you do have a Florida ID. I can look up with that. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Okay. Well, is there anything else important that you think I should know?
Yeah, my brother-in-law, he woke up this morning.
Mm-hmm.
He went to look at the trail,
Mm-hmm.
and he was walking, and he passed by 417 under,
Mm-hmm.
and he found the wallet. I have it.
When you say the trail, what trail?
It's like in the back of the school, there is a trail.
Oh, there's a trail behind the school.
Behind the school, yeah.
Okay, and you found a wallet. Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
And
Let's
if
take
you
a-
want to come in and
Yeah.
take a look what he found, and he just gave it to me, and I
1319.
Okay. I'm screen recording the map simultaneously. So that kind of answers that question. Orange Rose said, maybe, if it'll show up. Oh my goodness. My computer's so wonky. Okay, there it is. Jarrett. Why? I don't know why my computer like is possessed or something. It starts just playing videos even though I didn't click on anything. So annoying. Orange Rose said, it's always been curious to me that the birthday party was Sunday, especially since the next day was a school day. It's like they planned it so Stephan and Jen would not and could not go. That's an interesting theory. It was I mean, I've heard about kids having birthday parties on like a Sunday. But that is interesting. I wonder, because we know that she didn't get along much with her family. So it's not too far out of the realm of possibility. Why can't you wait till Thursday, Cara? What's going on Thursday? Good morning, Heather Wells. Maddie didn't even go to have her cute, sweet quinceañera. Oh, yeah. I know. They're so pretty when they do the quinceañera. Okay. We got one of the first interviews with Chris. Let's see. There's the first one with the Canadian neighbors. I don't know. Okay. That's where we were at. All right, so we'll see what Jen says in the next interview. I think this is the very next one. Oh, Thursday is the motion for the CSAM? That's right. I hope they air it live. I think they will. I need to get another document video out before that happens, so I'll have to be working on that. On Thursday, we will see those bullshit motions the defense is trying to pass get hopefully denied. Hopefully. They did say that they filed a motion to let the court, the news station and court TV and things be present and watch. All right, so while I'm screen recording the maps real quick and getting them uploaded for us to look at, listen to
11313. Today's date is
this is going to be Jen's second interview, and we'll see what she says here. So far, it's a toss-up, but looking like Stephan Stearns himself said he arrived Saturday night. Jen said Saturday or Sunday morning so far.
February 27th, 2024. The time is 23:32 hours. Gonna speak with Jennifer Soto. Hey, Jennifer. I haven't introduced myself. My name's Myra Taglo. Okay, I'm a detective with the Sheriff's Office. Do you mind if I talk to you? Do you mind if we talk over there by the car? Can you up inside? That's fine.
Where? Inside the house?
In the car.
Yeah. Our car?
Yeah. Oh, look at the baby. Does it lock?
No, it should be fine.
Okay. Over here, please.
Want to be able to go back home soon?
I'll explain it in a second. Okay?
Stephan.
I have a question too before we get started. Somebody said something like somebody in here has a gun. Is that a true statement or a false statement?
That's a true statement.
Okay, where is this gun at right now?
It is upstairs in the guest bedroom.
It's not like in any of these cars out here.
No, I don't believe so. I think it's upstairs in the guest bedroom. Bedroom number 4. It's got a number 4 on it.
Okay, how certain are we of that?
As far as I know, the gun is inside upstairs. I haven't heard of it being in the car.
Okay. Let me just move my purse.
If you want to take
If you want to start the car and just give me 1 second.
Yeah. Let me make this. I know it's not the most comfortable, but at least you won't be cold over there.
Yeah. I get cold super easy.
Yeah, I'm the same way, so I understand. You want to take a seat right over here, and then she's gonna. Don't worry about the.
Okay, I think that's good enough for the.
Start it up.
All right, Maps is uploaded. What I've got so far. Hey, scratch the page. Hey, Miss Kimmy.
Here, have it a little closer. Just in case.
Sorry, this isn't my car. There we go. Okay, so I'm not sure if he introduced himself, but his name is Luis Acosta. Okay. We both work for Orange County Sheriff's Office. So I understand you spoke with the other guy earlier with Detective Frank Hunt. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. We have officially taken over the case, okay? So
Are you guys with Kissimmee?
no, we're with Orange County. It's just
Did you hear how nervous she sounded when she's like, Jennifer sounded real nervous just then when they're like, this is Frank Acosta, and then we're taking over. And so far she's like, are you with Kissimmee? And she's about to find out that it's sex crime. She does act a little
different unit. Oh,
nervous.
what unit are you with? We're with sex crimes. Okay. It's just because of her age and is why we take over. Does that make? I know it's kind of confusing, but like we have like different rules, in Orange County, and depending on like people's age, we sometimes take over investigation when it comes to missing persons. Okay. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, when you talked to him earlier, I kind of got like a brief synopsis of what happened. I understand you have a new job. Yes. Okay. And if I say anything that's incorrect, please correct me. Okay. You have a new job. And last night you asked them to go sleep upstairs because you wanted to get rest. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. What time was this? Do you remember? It doesn't have to be like exact time, but like just. Oh, and then yesterday Sunday she had her birthday party, right? Sunday she had her birthday party. Okay, what time was that party at? It started at 3:00. Okay, from 3 to what time? I'm not sure.
So she's very frazzled right now. After she learns that sex crimes is taking over. Why is she so frazzled? Is it because she's really shocked that sex crimes is taking over and she's wondering what's going on? Or does she think that, oh no, what have they found? What were we not able to delete? Scratch the Paint said, I think he might have stayed somewhere else on Saturday. I'm wondering. Yeah, I would have a lot more questions than just that, okay, Jeep Sahara. I would be like, what do you mean sex crimes is taking over? What sex crime has occurred? I need to know. What are you talking about? That would have been my reaction. Yeah. I think at this point, I don't know. No, because Detective, oh my gosh, I know her, Tangler, took over, and then they got the phone. So yeah, they probably knew to call him in when they found out they had both been sleeping in the same damn bed together. Veronica says she doesn't ask them anything, and she just barely answers the questions with big sighs and 67 minutes left to answer the rest. She can never give us a direct, straight answer. It's so concerning, in my opinion.
Wasn't there. I was at work. Oh, okay, you weren't there. But I know my sister home around 8:30. Was Stephan here at that time? I'm not sure if he was here at the time, but I think he got here a little bit after. And he was like, okay, she was already doing what she was supposed to. She had taken her nighttime meds, and she was getting ready for bed, like taking a shower. She'd take showers at night. So he's like, okay, she was already on it. I didn't get home until, I'm going to say 10:30. Okay. And then at 11, I sent him to bed. Did Stephan make it to the party? No. Okay. And then once you get here, you said you sent her to bed at 11. And the following morning.
All right.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me backtrack a little bit. You send him upstairs, right? How many bedrooms are upstairs? 3. Okay.
So at this was, she says he got there a bit after 8:30, and they were doing their nighttime routine and all of that. So next, I believe, would be the Canadian neighbors. You got some red flags? Hey, John B. Yeah, it is snuggly cuddly time, like a 4-year-old baby. Michelle, what are your red flags, love? I should have everything together now. Like I said, it's been a crazy day. I apologize for not having all my crap together. I'll drop the link as soon as I start this interview if anybody wants to come up. I might need help with the maps video when we look at that in just a second. Because I really want to dig into the maps with you guys. her BS answers end with like a question with a raised pitch. They do, Mommy Ball. And everything that she answers and he answers is a question instead of a statement. And they do that on purpose so that they can go back later if they get called on their BS like they do later. And they can say, you know, oh, I wasn't sure. I didn't know the exact time or the exact answer or the exact whatever. They do all of that on purpose. Blue, no way it was Saturday. All right, that was the one we just listened to. That's where he gets caught on his BS. We've listened to those so much lately. Okay, let's go to the Canadian interview real quick, and then we'll jump into the maps. These are the Canadian neighbors who say they saw him there Saturday. And the parents, we'll listen to the first interview with Chris, and then we'll get into the maps.
Came on December 28th. Well, we were here on the 28th. And then we left for a cruise on July the 2nd for
I'll start it over. She tries to make it seem normal to send your daughter to sleep with your boyfriend. She tries to play it off as if it's normal. Although we know it's.
We learn a little bit more about Madeline and her
office. This is in reference to case number 24-11313. It is February 28, 2024 at 16:41 hours. And with me is your full name, please.
Gerald.
Can you tell me everything that you know about the missing person?
Well, we just heard about it. We saw all the commotion overnight, but we just heard about it this morning that there was here that is missing.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't seen her. We usually see her coming home with her school, and apparently takes her to school in the morning. But we haven't seen her for a few days. So she usually comes and takes the dog out for a walk to do his number. And but like I say, we haven't.
So far they're saying that Jen usually takes her to school and they haven't seen her, and she's the one that usually walks the dog.
Seen her this week at all. Last time we saw her, I believe it could have been Saturday or Sunday. We saw her taking that little dog out. So
okay. What about the?
I hadn't seen him since last year. He wasn't here around last year, and this year we saw him about a week and a half ago. We saw him coming to the unit and leaving.
Okay. And you've been here since?
We came on December 28th. Well, we were here on, the 28th, and then we left for a cruise.
Thank you for pausing, computer. So they say they saw him a week and a half ago leaving the unit. That would have been late January? No. That would have been around Valentine's Day. Why was he there around Valentine's Day? And why does nobody else mention him being there around Valentine's Day? Was it to pick up his Amazon packages? Because the neighbors just said that they saw him there a week and a half ago. Why was he there? Blue Sapphire says during Stern's interview, when they asked him, did he go to the party, he started to say, I wasn't in, and he stopped sort of saying invited because that would look bad, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would look bad. I believe it. Maybe the Valentine chocolate. I wondered if that Valentine chocolate that we see on her dresser was from him. Poor child. All right, so a week and a half ago, he was there. I wrote possibly pick up Amazon packages. Hey, Kimberly.
Cruise on July the 2nd for 9 and 10 days. So we were back here on January 11th. We were back and we've been here since. So,
and in the past few days, have you seen any of the family members?
Yes.
Okay. When was that, more or less?
It was last week, sometimes last week. We saw, I don't know, I can't nail down the date, but it was last week. We saw him come and go.
Okay. Was he driving or walking?
No, he came out. When I saw him, I was going out to check my van to make sure the windows were all closed.
Mhm.
And he was coming out and he went to the white car that they own it together.
Mhm.
But he went and sat in the white car.
So he was there a week ago. He came out and sat in Jennifer's car, and then he didn't see him after that. Why is it that they say it's been a long time since he's been there? He hadn't been there in several months. The last time he says he's there is Christmas, and I think he said he stayed through like the 1st of January. But the neighbors saw him sitting in Jen's car a week before Maddie goes missing. See, that makes me think that they knew something. And I mean, if we can prove that he was there a week beforehand, we could possibly prove premeditation, because if they let me just give you a speculation that is purely just that, a speculation. Let's say that Madeline was with child and that Jen and Stephan found out, and she called Stephan as soon as she found out. That puts him there about a week beforehand. He spends the next week trying to figure out what to do, as in like a plan B or something like that, realizes that that time period has gone and that she's too far along, and tries to do something else. Lord only knows what. I mean, that's just one speculation we can make from that. Why is he there a week beforehand? What did they talk about? Did they talk about trying to figure something out? Is that how we get the premeditation that he's charged with? And why are they lying about him being there a week beforehand? Cara just gifted 10 speculation station memberships. I really appreciate that. That was so very sweet of you. Those went to Elizabeth Collier, Nora Willow, Gigi, Goldilocks, Sarita okay, Traveling Teresa, Uncle Corey, unapologetically conservative, the Gardening Divas, Stephanie Remain, and I think that's it. If you were gifted from Cara and you are where you were gifted, please tell her thank you, and I will play the Polar Express clip for you, my lovely Cara. Thank you so much, Cara. That was so very sweet of you. Yeah, I'm reading some of your comments while that was playing. Nobody has mentioned that he was there a week beforehand, and they just mentioned it twice because they asked the last time that she said, when is the last time you saw him? He said a week and a half ago. He was leaving the unit, and I wrote possibly picking up Amazon packages. And then they were asked again, and they said the second time they came out and they were looking in their van to lock it or something, and he was sitting in Jen's car. Now, I'm going to tell you what, some nosy neighbors know the scoop. You ever want to know what's going on in the neighborhood, find that person sitting on the porch or looking out the window. They'll tell you everything. That's who we have here. No offense to the Canadian neighbors. They seem like a really sweet couple.
Was that on the weekend or earlier in the week that you remember?
It was on the weekend. It was on the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
That I saw him.
Was he by himself at that time?
Yep, he was by himself.
In the white car, what does it look like?
I think it's a Nissan. Was it a Nissan?
I'll just come out in my pajamas. We just got back from swimming.
Okay, wait a minute.
Was it a Nissan that he's got, or the white car?
I don't know what kind of car he had.
Okay, I'm gonna write down this timestamp and make sure that I'm not a week after her disappearance. We're at 3:19. I thought they said February 28th. But they might have said about a week after her disappearance. I'm going to run back to the beginning real quick, and then we'll jump right back to where we were. I'm going to try to get the date. My computer is being slow today. I think the kids are on their phones or something. I apologize.
in reference to case number 24-11313. It is February 28, 2024 at 16:41 hours.
Yeah, it's February 28th when she talks to them. And they discuss him being there a week and a half ago. So, I mean, again, that would have been February, 21st or 22nd? Or possibly, I mean, I would say between the 17th and the 22nd. At some point in that time range, he was there, sitting in Jen's car. I mean, they're pretty positive about it. Okay, we're at 3:19. Okay. Excuse me. Hey, Jenny B. So what was he doing there a week before?
Is it a 4-door, a 2-door, or something else?
It's always parked beside our van.
Yeah, it's always parked beside ours there in the handicap.
In the handicap spot?
Yeah, in the handicap. Sorry,
But you know this car to be,
Yes.
As far as we know,
She drives it.
Yeah.
And she's got the handicap sticker.
Right. But I saw him going to it. Now, whether or not he drives it, I don't know what he came in himself, his own car. I don't even know if he has one.
what about the,
Juan?
Mhm.
I saw him once this year. I didn't get to talk to him. I saw him coming into the unit. 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks, week and a half.
Yeah. To him, but I couldn't catch him before he went in.
He was always living there. And then they moved in with him. And
how long ago was that? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Like months, years?
ago.
Years
ago.
Right after they bought the place.
And
And like him and
I know.
like 2 peas in a pod. He taught her how to ride her bicycle and took her. He used to take her to school.
Yeah.
And
we told him he was fixing up a van to travel around the country. And we told him, I said, boy, when you leave, I said, she's really going to miss you. And he said, yeah.
He said, yeah, I'm going to really miss him. He had tears in his eyes. It was kind of sad. But anyways.
Does he still visit that you know?
Well, I've only seen him
year.
once.
We saw
Last
him
year, we
year.
saw him quite a few times. He'd come in with a van and then he'd
But
go
we're
in
not here all
and
the time
doing
either.
his.
We're out and about sometimes. And so we don't, he could have been here more times. I know he comes, I think, and does his wash here.
Yeah, but this year I saw him once.
Yeah, but he could have been here more.
Oh, yeah, he could have been here more when we weren't here, but we've seen him once this year. So.
Okay, and that was about a week and a half
last
ago?
week. Last week or the weekend before. Yeah.
Okay.
I sure hope that they
find her all right.
Okay. I see they're searching the woods here. I don't know. But she went missing at the park near her school. Is that what?
She was reported missing from school.
From school.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, when they said park, I said, why would they drop her off at the park? They usually take her to the school. You know what I mean? At least that's what I'm assuming they do every morning. They take her right to the school and pick her up and bring her back.
Yeah, bring her back from school. Yeah.
And you told me earlier that was usually.
Yep, and
all the times we've seen her was.
He goes out in the morning with her, and then sometimes we're not always here. But then at 8, I don't know what time school gets out fairly early.
Okay, it's very.
Anyway, so she comes back with
4.
It's unusual for her to be dropped off at the park, and he does not take her to school. Jen takes her to school. And I mean, again, they're putting him there, I'd say February 17th through the 22nd, possibly around Valentine's Day. Why does nobody else say that? Why does nobody else put him there at that time? Michelle said, Jen is so disgusting, grifting off the government, pretending to be disabled. Well, I don't know if she's disabled or not. A lot of disabilities aren't physical and you can't see them. So I don't want to put that on her. I don't know, but I can understand your frustration for sure. Remember, there was chocolates for Valentine's Day on the dresser. Yes, there was. There absolutely was. Reading some of y'all's comments real quick. Yeah, a lot of it is downright infuriating.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you last saw her walking the dog, Was that a weeknight, a school night, or was it
I
a
think it
weekend?
was last weekend, but I'm not sure.
Could have been on the
Which was
weekend.
unusual because usually she doesn't.
So they saw him walking the dog, and it was unusual because he usually doesn't walk the dog. And that was last weekend. I mean, so again, that's putting him there when he's supposedly not supposed to be there. Nona Needs a Nap said, so they just said that her grandpa used to always take Maddie to school, which makes me think that Jen only started taking her to school this year. And that's also interesting because grandpa lives right around the corner with sister in the other apartment complex.
It's usually.
It's unusual for her to walk the dog.
Yeah, it was kind of unusual. That's why I kind of, when I was sitting there, I thought, oh, she's walking the dog. So, but yeah, and she came back with the dog.
Yeah.
And went back in with it.
And that was in the afternoon, you said earlier?
Yeah.
On the weekend sometime.
Yeah, but I think it was in the afternoon. Pretty sure it was in the afternoon, as far as we know. So.
When you remember what he was wearing that day?
He wears a cap.
Yeah.
And actually, it was backwards.
Oh, was it? Oh,
yeah,
I didn't notice
backwards.
that.
The thing was in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know what he had on.
I couldn't tell you what he had on.
Okay. Anything else you can think of that might be important for me to know?
Well, you saw 3 people come in and they were greeted
that
at
was on Monday. That was
Monday.
Monday.
Was it after she was reported missing, or?
Well, I guess so. And all I saw was somebody hug somebody
in the doorway.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who it was they hugged or what. I just saw it because I was sitting there, and I when somebody walked by, I kind of looked.
Yeah.
And I kind of looked, and I think there were 3, and I know there were 2 adults. I don't know if there was a child with them or if there were 3 adults. I can't, but I didn't pay that much attention.
Can you tell if there were males, females, or
There was
anything?
1 male and there was a female, and I don't know who the other. I can't remember.
If you had to guess, what time of day was it?
Oh, I don't know.
So there's 3 people hugging in the doorway, 2 adults and they don't know the other one. That's weird to me. What 3 people are going to be hugging in the doorway? Unless it's Jen, her sister, and Juan. I don't know who else is going to be standing in the doorway hugging each other. And I don't think that they were all there, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure Jen would have told us if she had another disability. She loves disabilities, no doubt. I don't know what goes on with the handicap placard. You know what I mean? I'm not a disability lawyer or anything, so I'd try to tiptoe very carefully around that. Yeah, that stupid hat backwards. He's always wearing that.
Oh, I thought it was kind of unusual because they don't usually. The only people that go in there are the renters.
Yeah, they're the people that live upstairs.
The people that live upstairs, and one has a son.
Yeah.
And
the other lady's by herself, I think.
I think so. I've never seen her with anybody. So, no, I can't. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't paying that much attention. I just kind of caught my eye when 3 of them went. And I'm sure now that you told me that she's been missing since Monday, I'm sure it was a relative that probably came.
Yeah.
Maybe her sister, because she has a sister. So
Because that was on Monday, wasn't it?
I think it was Monday. Yeah,
So that they probably noticed they're missing, so probably told relatives.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Could you state your full name and date of birth for me?
Yes, it's Barbara, and I'm a Canadian.
Can you raise your right hand for me?
Okay, so that's what we got from that one. Now, we're going to listen to Chris's first interview, Stephan's dad, and we're going to see what he says. Then we'll look at the maps and we'll listen to
Do you swear and affirm everything you told me is true and correct?
Well, I'm not sure because
they say they might have some dates wrong or whatever, but I'm sure that you remember. I mean, if you tell me that you saw him a week and a half sitting before she went missing, sitting in Jen's car, I'm apt to believe you. Hey, Black Knight. Yeah, I don't know about the placard thing. Either way, I mean, I don't find it relevant right now. I know it's infuriating, but not necessarily relevant. Hey, guilty of crime. Okay. Oh, I need to drop the thing too. Okay, so we're going to listen to the very first interview with the dad and see what time he says Stephan got there. I'll drop the link and then we'll look at the maps screen recording that I just did. Maybe y'all can help me with that. Mr. Roasting Man is talking outside.
4012 Santa Maria Drive. In reference to case number 24001809. It's myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood, and Jennifer Soto. So, to give you a little bit of what's happening now, there's a few other additional pieces of evidence that we're collecting at the time. Okay. Some of that evidence came from Stephan's phone. Some of the pictures that were on the phone that we've identified.
This is not the first interview. It's one of the first interviews. I think it's the second or third interview. Dang it. Okay. We'll see what he says.
Belonging to Maddie as well. So clothing that she was wearing, that sort of stuff. Okay. That's what we're collecting.
Okay.
Okay. We will leave you an evidence sheet to let you know what we took. Everything that we've taken from the house is in an evidence sheet that's going to be left here for you. Okay.
This is
it may take a little bit because what they do is they take a picture of it, they collect it. Go to the next one, take a picture of it, collect it. So it'll be a little bit, but it shouldn't be too long. Okay, so we spoke yesterday and we've got a little bit more information since the last time we spoke.
Okay, this is not with Chris. I don't know why. I thought I clicked on the one with Chris, but we can listen. This is where they talk about several important things, if I remember correctly. So we'll listen to this one real quick and get real upset and angry. All right, let's see what was said in this interview.
Last night, I guess it would be. So I'm going to ask you to go through this again. Monday morning when you were asleep, Stephan and Maddie were upstairs, and she's going to school.
Yeah, let's just get real bad. Real get upset and angry.
Like you mentioned something about you hearing noises, and then you woke up. So how exactly did that go down?
Monday morning, I was woken up by Stephan Stearns coming into my bedroom to try to put the leash on the dog. He was saying, "Here, puppy, let's go."
You know, what I've noticed already off the bat when they're talking about, okay, you know, this is the evidence sheet of what we collected. We collected clothes specific to the abuse of Maddie. That's what they started this interview with. And she's already distancing herself from Stephan because she's stating now, instead of like calling him Stephan or her boyfriend or Maddie's stepdad, it's I saw Stephan Stearns, full government name, trying to distance herself from him. Is this where she realizes, I mean, obviously he's caught, he's busted. So now I'm going to distance myself from him so I don't get caught up in his BS because he didn't delete the stuff off of the phone. I did. Right now his ass is grass and mine is not. So I'm going to protect myself. Purely speculative, just by the way. On my part.
To leash him up. I got up off the bed at that moment because my dog has a tendency to pee a little bit when you're too direct and you put a leash on him. Mm-hmm. You have to like talk to him nicely and yeah.
Katie, no, I have a rooster here and they're out right now. I'll show you what he looks like if I could grab it real quick. This is Mr. Rooster Man. That's what you're hearing. He's outside the window. I leave my windows open in the spring. I let the air in, let the house air out.
He got the leash on the dog and told me, "Okay, don't worry about it. Just go back to sleep." And I said, "Okay." So I went back to sleep. I think this was around. I'm assuming this was around 8 o'clock in the morning because I'm assuming, oh, he's getting ready to take her to school. He's walking the dog before he does that. Yeah. So I'm not sure what time it was, but I think it was around 8 o'clock in the morning when this happened.
Okay.
I thought I had heard somebody in the kitchen.
Thank you,
I don't know who it could be.
Tanta.
But yeah, I just heard sounds, but I'm not sure who it was. Who was in the kitchen? Could have been Stephan. Could have been Maddie.
Okay.
Could have been one of my roommates.
Okay, now again, distancing herself. I don't know who I heard, even though I wrote in a statement that I physically saw Madeline getting ready that morning.
The deputies first talked to you when you were reporting her missing.
Yeah.
Do you remember writing a statement?
Yes.
Okay. In that statement, you say you saw Maddie.
I saw. I know. I misremembered. I didn't see her.
Okay.
I wanted to believe I saw her, but I didn't.
But when you're talking to the deputy on his body cam, you describe what she's wearing.
Because she had picked it out the night before.
Okay.
I wanted to think I saw her, but I didn't. Like, that statement doesn't even make sense. I wanted to think that I saw her, but I didn't. Why would you want to think that you saw her? Like, either you saw her or you didn't. At this point, you don't know that she's deceased. It's not like I want to remember the last time I saw my daughter. I would like to think that I saw her that morning before she disappeared or before she died. The only thing would be and if you're trying to help the police find your child who's missing, why are you hindering them by saying that you saw her? You wrote it in a statement and signed it definitively saying that you saw her that morning. And then when they call you on your BS for it, it's, I want to think I would have seen her. Why? Do you know she's deceased? Like, is it like, I want to think I wish I had seen her that morning before she died? If she was alive at that point in time, I want to have seen her that morning before she disappeared. Like, why do you want to think that you saw her so bad that morning? Veronica said, who in this effing world would misremember seeing your missing child that same day? Even describing the outfit. Who? Right. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. I mean, it's like you're trying to stop the cops' investigation.
I told her to set up her clothes the night before to have it ready, so she was ready to go.
Did you do a interview with Fox 35 recently?
Yes.
Okay. In that interview, you say something to the effect that you don't want her to come home. Do you remember that?
No. Why would I say that?
I don't know. That's part of the interview.
Maybe
I don't know
She said, I don't want her to come home hurt.
if you listened to it or if you saw it.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Maybe when we're done with this, you can Google it and see if you misspoke or.
I must have misspoken because that's I remember recalling asking her to come home. Please come home. We miss you. I want you here. Like, please be safe. I remember saying that.
Okay. All right. I want to touch a little bit more, go more in depth on the relationship that you have with Stephan. Now, you said you guys have been dating for a while, and then you kind of broke up, and it's been on and off for a few years, I guess you'd say, right?
Yeah.
During that time, was he seeing anybody else?
She is still blaming
I was
her.
told at one point sometime last year that, hey, the girl I was hanging out with, one of my coworkers I was hanging out with outside of work, who I said I was hanging out with, I was really having sex with her. Because I asked him, like, did you have sex with her? Like, but you told me you were just hanging out. Did you have sex with her? And he admitted that he did. I think her name is Marielle, but I'm not sure what her last name would be.
Okay. Now, the relationship that you have with Stephan, you told me that you haven't had sex in a while.
Yeah.
When you guys were together and intimate with each other, is maybe a little uncomfortable, but something that we have to discuss is when you guys were intimate with each other. A lot of people call it vanilla sex. Some people call it, whatever kind of sex you want to call it. Mm-hmm. How would you describe you and Stephan when you guys were intimate?
Pretty vanilla, I would say, just missionary and
Okay. I don't like the way they give her an out. So like the cop is like, people would describe it as vanilla. When you offer her the ability to answer with the word vanilla or basic sex, like that's what she's going to answer. You say a lot of people describe it as pretty vanilla. How was your sex life? And she says her answer is obviously going to be pretty vanilla because you've just stated that, you've put that idea in her head. So that's how she's going to answer. I mean, I don't like the way they ask them questions. Like, why wouldn't you just say, okay, can you describe to me what your sex life was like specifically? Was there any kinks or something like that? And that gives the option to tell me about what his kinks are, which is what I want to know at the end of the conversation. I need to know if he had any specific kinks or any kind of things, because that's information I need for the case. So I'm going to ask you that directly, not give you the option to say our sex life is vanilla when it wasn't, or possibly might not have been. I'm not going to give you a possible answer. I'm going to ask you a specific question. I think I'm not trying to talk. I love our law enforcement in blue, and I support them. But that irritates me about these officers specifically. Hey, Wolfpack. Yeah, I think he's in over his head too. Yeah, I'm sorry. Here's our warning that it's about to get nasty. We'll do a ooh, brother, ooh, real quick.
Ooh. Brother, ooh. What's that? What's that, brother?
All right, there's your warning that it's about to be a ooh, brother, ooh.
Oral, but nothing more than that. Missionary.
Okay. Has he ever asked you to perform a certain
Okay, missionary and oral
way, or anything that you think would be out of the ordinary?
Okay,
hey, Petty.
I want to say he's joked around about wanting anal sex, and like, yeah, we should do that. We should try that. And I'm like, absolutely not. No, to me, his penis is average size but thick, and it hurts. So I don't want even normal sex hurt to me. So I just didn't want to do it anymore, honestly.
Okay.
Oh God, that's
nothing
hard to hear.
other than that you think would be out of the ordinary?
No.
Okay.
Right, G?
All right. So he is on medication. You told me he's on medication for insomnia. Can you say that right? Sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And then I believe you said ADHD.
Yeah, and also anxiety meds, I think.
Anxiety. Okay. Anything else that you can think of?
Jen is by.
He did have, I think, a vial of, I'm not sure if it was Viagra or Cialis, but one or the other.
Straight to jail.
I know he was having a hard time getting an erection or being able to enjoy getting off.
Because he wasn't attracted
And
anymore.
he ended up figuring out we couldn't figure out, he went to the doctors, tried to figure out why he was having these issues. They told him it must be something mental because physically his body's fine, should be acting normal.
Okay.
But we found out it was a side effect due to the Adderall medication he was on, and he was not able to enjoy himself sexually. Once he got off Adderall for a while and was able to enjoy himself again, I think there was no need for the Cialis or anything like that.
Okay. Would he ever talk to you about?
Jen had stated in her live journal that she liked certain singers at the point in time, and there's a lot of like no, she hasn't come out and said it. His parents said it. She referenced it when she was younger, liking girls. There's a lot of pride stuff in her house. So, I mean, I'm pretty confident in saying she is. I mean, obviously, I was not there. I did not see. I do not know. But judging by using my common sense and what I've heard people say, and the things in her house that are very supportive of the rainbow community, I would say that she is, personally. Oh my gosh. Abellis just gifted 50 memberships. My goodness. Thank you so very much for that. That was so very sweet. Oh my gosh. That is a lot. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Abellis. You are so sweet. Those went to John, Recovery in Progress, Jedi Wookie, Shields Up, Jeff Law, Suzanne, Linda, Amber KR, Jennifer, Elizabeth M, Barb Murray, the Gray Family, Wow, Boise J, TC True Crime, Bon, Dusty Crochet, I crochet, Dusty, Joanna B, Laura Manas, Chris L, Tickled Pink, Lori L, Oh Angels Babe, Surprise Me, I'm not going to say that, Donna, Rebby, Jennifer Elizabeth Turner, Midnight Shenanigans, Odin Logan, Dawn Hilliker, Noelle Norman, Colina Goriander, Felicia Omnoski, Amanda Hill, Dorothy, Sonia, Erig, Chad Warden, Lynette, Samantha, Safina, Shaker Maker, Letitia, Jen, Just Amber, That Carly, Courtenay, Flory, Miss Up, and Lacey Pear. There's still more coming, but that's all that I could read and see. Thank you so very much for that. That was so very sweet of you, Abellis. My goodness, that was a lot. So I'll play both clips because we're going to need to get both trains to pick up all those people. So first, I'll grab the crazy train. Thank you, Abellis. And for those that don't want to ride my crazy train, I'll get the slower train. Thank you so much, Abellis. That was so sweet of you. Welcome, everybody, to Speculation Station. If you were gifted and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abellis thank you. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. Oh, my goodness, that was a lot. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, I'm assuming. I don't know. I was not there. I did not see, but I'm assuming. I think that, and the reason I say that is because I think that there's a speculation where it could possibly play a role. And the speculation is that after she had Maddie, after her time with Tyler, she might not have been that into men. And you can make your own speculations from there. It is purely speculative. None of us were there. None of us saw. None of us know. But there's a theory that could possibly make sense if you go down that road. And then you see the Christmas tree and some of the clothing and things like that. And some of the things she said, I think she stated it. A lot of people around her have stated it. So that's why I go with that.
Oh, what kind of porn you like watching or anything like that?
No.
With him or anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right, now Maddie, what medication?
So and it's odd to me that the only way she can identify his member is by the things around it. Like if you had seen his member, if you guys were sexually active, especially for 5 to 6 years, because they had stopped being sexually active about a year before Madeline disappeared or the homicide was committed, you would be able to identify his member. You can't tell me that after 7 years, you still don't know what it looks like. Like, stop it. Yeah, I can't. No. I don't. The only way she was able to identify his member was by the stuff around it. There is a black freckle on it, and there is a red mark that goes a quarter length down the member. It makes it very easily identifiable. I've never been with the man, and I could probably identify it in a lineup. So, I'm just not believing it. I don't think that she had relations with the man. That's just my speculation, though.
Medication did she take?
She was on and anxiety medication. So that because she suffers from really bad GI issues. She's constantly constipated. What else? She had an asthma inhaler. She had an asthma inhaler. I can't think of any other meds she was on.
Does she take that medicine to school with her?
The asthma medication, yes. The asthma medication, yes. Goes to school, and the anxiety meds, we give it to her when she's at home.
How does she react to this medicine?
No.
Like, how does her body react?
Fine.
Okay.
No side effects. No, nothing weird.
Okay.
No, nothing weird. Then why are we taking the fucking laxative, ma'am? No, nothing weird. No side effects. What is the laxative for then, ma'am? That's interesting. You catch new things every time you hear this. You know what? I could not do a drinking game every time they talk about meds. I would be plastered. I don't even drink. Like, I could drink 2 sips of wine and already be feeling tipsy. I would be plastered up on these YouTube streets, and that would not be good for any of us. So I can't join you on that drinking game. Hey, Quicksilver. Excuse me. Right.
And she takes it in the morning or at night?
It's redacted because they're talking about our medicine.
Probably in the afternoon or evening time, close to bed. We use it mostly for sleep aid. That would be given to her at night. The asthma medication was used, and the GI medication was given.
For what?
Okay. And then medication that you take.
Me?
Yeah.
I take
20-minute redaction.
brand name.
Lord have mercy.
For bipolar medication. I take anxiety medication.
I get it, Mallory. It irritates me too, honey. I know.
I'm also prescribed my.
Really, Michelle? I didn't count it. 13 times. I believe it. Like, yeah, it's about to be redacted, then redacted, and redacted. All the meds. All the meds. There's nothing against people who take a lot of
I had
meds.
gastric sleeve surgery a few years ago, so I'm vitamin deficient. So they give me some high doses of medications to keep my vitamins balanced.
I mean,
I think that's it.
Okay.
If you need to keep your vitamins balanced, they would be giving you high doses of vitamins, in my opinion. Yeah. You know what? Jeepers Creepers is funny you say that. Jeepers Creepers says, sorry, but why not just be single? Everything was transactional for him. Did she not realize Stephan was just taking care of Maddie out of the kindness of his heart? Did she not realize Stephan wasn't just taking care of Maddie out of the kindness of his heart? He's a dirty, nasty monster. I agree. In her lab journal from when she was a teenager, she said, why are you going to be with somebody that's not supportive of you? I don't remember exactly, but basically describes Stephan and says, why would anybody be with somebody like that? Why not just be alone? Now, obviously, I don't think she had met Stephan, but it's pretty much the same thing. Why not be alone? And I don't understand why you couldn't do that when you were older in life. Why couldn't you just be alone if the relationship wasn't benefiting you? Moth's mommy said there's a version of a dating game on British TV where a female contestant chooses her date in a lineup of male contestants, and all she can see is his member. I don't know how it's legal. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. That is crazy. Very interesting.
All right. So going back to the morning that Stephan takes her to school, you said
sorry,
you
Tati.
think it's around 8 o'clock when you physically see Stephan messing with the dog?
Yes,
Okay. And you don't see Maddie anywhere?
I don't.
Okay. When Maddie gets dressed for school, like now that I've seen the inside of the house, it looks like a majority of her clothes are in that little partitioned area in the living room.
Yeah.
Does she have clothes anywhere else? Like, where would she put clothes to wear to school the next day?
Okay. Where would she get dressed? She would get dressed in her bedroom, right there, that little nook in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
All her clothes are there. Mm-hmm. When she takes off her clothes, her dirty laundry hamper is typically in my bathroom downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll just dump it in the basket. But there is no basket there right now. She's been dumping everything on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I think the basket is currently being used with clean clothes. So I just wanted to keep the clean clothes and dirty clothes separated. So dirty clothes are on the floor right now. What's in the basket should be like half clean, half dirty clothes, I think. Yeah.
Okay. When you go to sleep, when you were sleeping that night, was your door open or shut?
It is left cracked open.
Cracked open. Okay. Would you see or hear Maddie going to get changed?
Normally, yeah, I would think.
I would say yes, but if I weren't deep asleep, and I think I was deep asleep because I didn't hear anything until Stephan came and woke me up to try to get the dog.
Okay, so he woke you up to help with the dog?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't.
So Little Red, where have you heard that she was a failure to thrive baby? I've never heard that before, so I don't know. I was saying that she said there was no side effects from the medication, yet she's on the constipation meds, which I would assume would have been a side effect from medication that she was taking, but I could definitely be wrong in that assumption. Yeah, there was some supposedly some clean clothes and dirty clothes in the same laundry basket, which is, yeah, questionable. I don't understand that either.
You didn't hear tussling around or wrestling around in the kitchen that made you wake up to go help?
No. It was him. He came directly into my room and grabbed the dog, and I got up. I shot up to try to help him.
Shot up.
It was until later that after that is when I heard rustling in the kitchen.
Okay. So he takes the dog out, took a potty or whatever it may be, and he comes back inside. Do you see him when he comes back inside?
I don't remember.
How do you not remember?
Okay. Do you remember him leaving, saying bye to you or anything like that when he was taking Maddie to school?
I don't think so. I think at this point I was already back deep asleep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure when he went to walk the dog and left,
Mm-hmm.
I fell right back asleep immediately.
Okay. Now you go back to sleep. You wake up because you have a doctor appointment to go get blood drawn or something like that.
Yeah.
And you told me your appointment was around 10 or something like that, 9, 10?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I think it was 10:15.
She also said that it was 8 o'clock when Stephan woke her up, but at 7:35, he's at the dumpsters throwing Maddie's stuff away.
Yes, it was at 10:15.
So that's a lot.
So you go to this appointment, and on your way back, did you talk to Stephan on the phone at all?
That's an easy answer. He called you at 10:18.
I know I talked to him while I was in the parking lot waiting for my blood work to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't recall if I called him on my way home as well. It would seem like I would do that, but I just can't 100% tell you if I did do that or not.
Okay. At what time
I'm with Detective Tangler. Do you have memory problems? Like, is something wrong up there? The shot's not firing in your brain there? The neurons not sending electrons and all of the things? What's going on?
Did you and him meet back up here?
So I got back from my blood work appointment anytime between, let's say 11:15, 11:30, so sometime around that time.
And was he already here?
Yes.
Okay. What did you guys talk about when you got home?
What happened this morning?
What did he say? What happened this morning?
What he did, how he drove around with Maddie deceased in the car, what your next move was, is my thought process, but that's not what she said.
He's like, we had a good morning. We made really good time. Maddie got ready super quick. We were out the door super quickly. I was super impressed with our time. I tried convincing Maddie to go have McDonald's breakfast a few times, but she changed her mind and decided she didn't want to. She just wanted to sleep in the car. And the thing is, the night before, we had discussed, oh, Maddie, maybe he should leave a little bit earlier than normal so that you can go get breakfast with him at McDonald's. That would be a really cool day to start a Monday right after your birthday, having McDonald's at breakfast. And she's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So
that's always been weird to me. We tried to, basically she's saying they tried to convince Maddie to do the McDonald's thing. She said, we said that maybe you should go get McDonald's since it's the first Monday after your birthday. Have they ever done that before for other birthdays? Like it, and I don't think they have, because it wasn't, the way she describes the conversation wasn't, oh, you know how after your birthdays, when you have to go to school, we always get you McDonald's. Why don't we do that tomorrow since it's the first day back to school since your birthday? You know, like I'm saying that because my daughter, we have a thing where we go get her donuts on her birthday because she's not real big into cake. So it's always like, oh, we'll go to the donut shop in the morning, right? Every year. Like it would be, do you want to go to the donut shop or do you want to go to McDonald's like we do every year when you have school? That's not what's said. We tried to tell her to get McDonald's in the morning, or basically say, oh, do you want McDonald's since it's your first Monday back at school? What child wants to get up earlier than usual to go get McDonald's? And then she says, oh, that's a good idea. And it's weird to me because we know that whole story was made up so he could get out of the house and get her into the car without anybody seeing her. Why does Jen say we tried to convince her to get McDonald's when we know, again, that the reason was to get out of the house and away from everybody that would be getting up and moving around at the time he would normally be taking Maddie to school? We got to get out of the house with her body before then. So we're going to come up with this McDonald's theory. And then I'll just say she didn't want McDonald's because she's obviously deceased in the car. And they say they came up with that idea together. I mean, again, why that tells me that she's involved in it. I'm sorry, but it does. Nothing else makes sense to me because we know it was a lie to get her out of the house. Yeah, they were so impressed that they got up so early. They always talk about that. But he had to get up that early to get her body out of the house without the roommate seeing, without anybody else in the apartment complex seeing. It's a story that was made up, and she's putting herself right in it by saying we came up with the McDonald's story the night before. Or does that prove premeditation? Does that prove that it was planned from the night before to commit the homicide, and he knew that he would have to get out of the house early enough to not be seen? So that's where the McDonald's story comes in. That would prove premeditation. It's one of the two. And by using we, she is more or less admitting that she was part of it. Exactly, Tony.
They were supposed to have gone to McDonald's, but he told me they didn't. He told me he had left his phone because I had. No, he had already told me this earlier that he had left his phone. What else did he talk to me about? We sat in my room for a while, hung out. He discussed having to reset his phone even though he didn't want to, or no, not reset his phone. He discussed
having to reset his phone even though he didn't want to. He did. That's what we call, ladies and gentlemen, a Freudian slip. She slipped and admitted the truth. We discussed him having to reset his phone even though he didn't want to. And now she's about to say, oh, not reset. I mean, doing an update. She just said we discussed him having to reset his phone when we were talking. That is a Freudian slip. That's the truth. That's what happened. In my speculation, in my opinion, and my speculation. I was not there. I did not see. I do not know. I think that's a Freudian slip. And then she changes it very quickly to, oh, he didn't want to do an update. But she said it out of the mouth of babes.
Needing to update his phone because he's been avoiding an update for so long. But I think it's time to do it. And I said, just do it. Stop avoiding it. Just do it. And he started the update. And then through the update, he's like, oh my God, I don't know what button I pressed, but I just factory erased my entire phone. And I said, that was stupid. How did you manage to do that? He goes, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention and I just clicked the button and it happened. And I said, oh, okay, that's unfortunate.
Or did he tell you he meant to reset his phone?
See? Even he picked up on it.
No, he didn't tell me he meant to reset his phone. He acted like and said that it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that odd?
Of course I find that fucking odd. That's suspicious as hell. That.
Have you ever reset any kind of phone?
Me? I have no idea.
And y'all have told me that she said iOS update, which is something that's for iPhone, not Android. I don't know. I don't know nothing about that, but you guys have told me that iOS is for iPhone. I don't know. I just call it an update. John B, I saw that you gifted 20 Speculation Station memberships. Thank you so much for that. That was so very sweet and supportive of you. I really appreciate that. I'm going to try to highlight it. Maybe. It went up too fast. Let's see if I can see who those went to. Those went to JTR, Detective Wood Buffett, Rosie Rose, Lovin' Two Limes, D. Collins, KLK, Michigan Madre, Steve L. Sharp, Dissy Escapes, Brenda, Julie B., Sweet and Sassy, DLPC, Emerald Wonderland, I like that, Fry Swan, T.A. Carsa Dream, Night Skinned, Felicity Smoke, Holly's World, Mundo and Paz. Thank you so much for gifting those 20 Speculation Station memberships. If you were gifted from John and you are aware you were gifted, please tell them thank you. And I really appreciate that. That was so very sweet of you. I will pick y'all up and we will go to Speculation Station. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John. Again, that was so very sweet of you. I really appreciate that. Y'all are being so supportive, checking out those bushes today. Thank you so much. Okay. So, yeah, iOS update. Is that for iPhone? And y'all talked about his watch. I never made the connection that he could be talking about a Fitbit watch.
Okay. Have you ever had to do an update on a phone?
Right, Orange?
I think so. On these phones, yeah. Sometimes it'll ask me to just continue on with the update. And do I remember it ever asking me to erase? No.
Got it. Okay.
But he's got a Samsung. I have Apple, so I don't know if there is a difference or not. So.
All right. Now that you mentioned phones, so Maddie had a phone.
Yeah.
And explain to me what her attachment is to her phone.
Her phone is her lifeline. That's how she talks to all of her friends. That's how she talks to any of us. She's
constantly on the phone, and even the police said that it's weird. She doesn't usually leave her phone at home, and it was odd for her to do that. Lori said that she previously said, oh, that's crap, then that's fucking suspicious. She's not dumb. She changes her tune when she knows she slipped up. Right. Every other time, him driving all hours of the night for hours at a time is not suspicious. The flat tire is not suspicious. The phone reset's not suspicious. The not going to McDonald's is not suspicious. Nothing at all ever in the world with Stephan is suspicious. But when she slips up just then and accidentally says that we were discussing him resetting the phone, sorry, bad girl, I don't know what you're talking about. Look at the memberships. When she discusses resetting the phone, she's automatically, when they're like, and you didn't find that suspicious, she's like, yeah, it's suspicious as fuck, because she knows that eyes are on her right now because she just slipped up. She wants eyes to be back on Stephan. So when he gives her the opportunity to switch the blame by saying, you didn't find that at all suspicious, of course she's going to jump on that bandwagon. Oh yeah, it was so suspicious, because that gets the heat off of her and puts it back on Stephan. But any other time, it's, oh no, I didn't find anything suspicious with anything Stephan did. Not at all. The flat tire, driving all hours of the night, disappearing, not telling me where he's going, all of the things, none of that's suspicious. But right after she slips up, it's suspicious. Hey, Melissa. Right, Donna?
On video chat with her best friend, or talking to them, or playing video games with them. But she's on her phone pretty often. What exactly would you like to know about her phone?
So, at one point you told either a deputy or officer or detectives that sometimes she leaves her phone at home when she goes to school.
Yeah.
How often do you think that is?
I would say once every few weeks. It happens a lot. Like for me, that's a lot. She has ADHD. She's very forgetful. She'll set something down and completely forget where she said it later. Mm-hmm. Where I found her phone was on her dresser. So I'm assuming she placed it there while she was getting ready and completely forgot about it, got ready, grabbed her backpack, and left. But it was on the dresser in front of her TV. But for me, that's a normal thing for her to forget her phone.
Mm-hmm. Now, when she went, do you remember what time she went to bed on Sunday?
I sent them to bed around 11 o'clock.
Okay. Did you see him or her anytime after that other than in the morning? Or talk to them? Either via text or yell through the walls or...
No, nothing like that. If anything, Stephan may have come down to use the restroom.
Why wouldn't he use the restroom upstairs?
Because our roommate does not like sharing. Our roommate does not like sharing bathrooms with men, and she asked that we don't use that bathroom, or that he doesn't use that bathroom specifically. So we've respected her wishes, and he's been using my bathroom this whole time.
Okay. Were you supposed to work Monday?
No, I was off.
Okay. What about Tuesday?
Off. Wednesday, I was supposed to work.
And you told me you work at the front desk at Coronado Springs at Disney.
Yes.
How long have you worked there?
Less than a week.
Okay. Did you work anywhere prior to that?
I was a substitute teacher for Kelly Education.
And how long did you do that?
Maybe a month or two. Not very long. And then before that, I've been unemployed. I've been living off disability, essentially. Mm-hmm. I'm disabled.
Okay, why are you disabled? From what?
I have a bunch of things. Primarily PTSD.
From what?
PTSD, bipolar 2, generalized anxiety, ADHD. I think that's pretty much it with my psychiatric stuff.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, what happened?
I went on a date with a guy I had met.
Was this before Stephan or?
Yes. Before
okay.
Stephan. This was right before. It was a few years before Stephan, or maybe the year before Stephan. But met a guy at a car dealership who interviewed me for a job. I turned the job down, and he said, "Oh, great, I can't date my employees." And I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, I want to take you out on a date." And I said, "Oh, wow, I've never been asked out on a date in person before." And we went out on a date. He got really drunk. We got back to his place.
This is where she talks about the PSD and why she has it. I know I'm not going to be able to finish this interview today because I do have to cook dinner. Right, Orange Rose?
All right.
If you didn't work, what would your typical day look like?
My entire day.
Do you not find it odd, ma'am, that you had off for the next 2 days, yet you had to call your ex-boyfriend in who you broke up with and kicked out in December to come take care of your child, your only child? Like, that's what they want to ask her, in my opinion.
It was focused around Maddie.
On a normal basis?
Mm-hmm. I would wake up first thing in the morning, make sure she was ready, make her breakfast, get her backpack and water bottle ready. If she's taking lunch, get her some lunch ready. This is me doing this while she's getting ready. Walk the dog, come back, make sure she takes all her medications before school, take her to school, come back.
Ever Love Me, you're not blocked. I just saw your comment and I was trying to highlight it. Sometimes comments jump and I highlight the wrong ones. But I just saw that you commented. Do they block out? I don't know. Sometimes YouTube will block certain comments or certain words. So that could be what's going on. See, this is what. Okay. You know, I mean, I don't want to, like, that's a possibility, John. She says, see, this is why she lies about not being intimate with Stephan, because she doesn't want to lose her fake disability. She's in disability because she's scared of men, yet there Stephan is. I could see the PTSD, right? I don't think that PTSD would necessarily classify you as for having disability. Yes, the PTSD is from her having an issue with a man, but I imagine that there are women who could be on disability for a PTSD type related incident and then be married to a man also. It's just with men you trust or whatever. Would be my thought process on that. Like it would depend on the certain man or the certain situation, because women who have been victims of sexual assault do trust men, you know, later on down the road. Unfortunately, a lot of women, probably more women have been the victim of some kind of sexual assault than have not been. And they have relationships and adult, you know, get married, have children, all the things. You said no, but she claims PTSD and ADHD and bipolar and all kinds of other crap. I would think the bipolar would be the disability. And that would be why she's on a ton of medication. I would think it would be more so the bipolar. Right. I've been the victim of sexual assault before too, and I'm in a relationship with a man. I think it's more the disability. I mean the bipolar.
I typically have a bunch of doctor's appointments to go to often, so I'm either at doctor's appointments. If I'm not at doctor's appointments, I'm just here at home, probably napping, resting, just waiting until it's time to pick her up from school again.
Right, Michelle.
She was my entire life. Everything I did was, my everyday was for her.
I don't believe you.
Did Stephan know about your doctor appointment on Monday? Did you tell him what your plans were on Sunday?
Here we go.
I'm not sure when I told him. I must have told him Sunday night, yeah, or Sunday, because there's no way I could have told him Monday morning if he didn't have his phone on him, and I didn't really talk to him that morning.
Where'd you meet him?
So she says she told him everything Sunday night, but the answer is because she couldn't have talked to him Monday morning if he didn't have his phone. I'm thinking more of, I can't tell you that I talked to him Monday morning because I told you I was asleep and really we had been up all night. That's just my speculation, and I'm going to hush now. I'm going to hush my mouth.
We both worked at a real estate office off of I Drive somewhere. They're called Eco Homes. I don't think they exist anymore, though. The Eco Home Company.
That's owned by his parents.
I think he was a real estate agent for them or did warranty work for them. And I was an appointment setter. And I didn't have that job for very long. I got fired. It was right after my PTSD incident. I couldn't hold down a job at all.
Now, we've heard since then that business was owned by Stephan's parents. And of course, if Stephan's a real estate agent for them, I'm sure it was owned by his parents because Stephan ain't no damn real estate agent for no damn body. So if he was classified as a real estate agent at that job, it had to be owned by his parents. Why did his parents fire her is my question. She did a lot in about 30 minutes, no doubt. Yeah. It's something else. Right,
So when
Hobby?
you and Stephan would hang out, say Maddie's at school and you two wanted to hang out, or the three of you wanted to hang out, like what would you guys do? Like where would you go? Or
Primarily Disney. We have Disney annual pass holders. We both worked for Disney at one point. Well, at least he worked out there at one point. I still work there.
Hey, Sydney.
But we go to Disney. We go to Disney, or we stayed home and they would play board games, or we'd watch. Well, we loved watching movies. We would always have family time, just watch a new movie. Like, I felt like it was one of our projects to make sure that she watched all the good movies from the 80s and 90s that we watched growing up watching. I just wanted her to have the knowledge of pop culture. So last movie we watched with her was Sister Act.
When was that?
Sunday night.
When did they have time?
Or would you go out to eat anywhere, like a favorite restaurant or anything like that?
I've got to go because I've got to cook dinner, unfortunately. But I will be back tomorrow and we will continue this. But I'm going to leave this question with you guys for tonight. When did they watch Sister Act? If she got home at 10:30, sent them upstairs at 11 through a text message by saying she needs to go to bed right now, when did they watch Sister Act? Can somebody answer that question for me? Why the past tense? That's another good question. I need to know when they supposedly watched Sister Act. Please make it make sense to me. Please tell me when they had time to watch Sister Act. She got home at 10:30, sent them to bed at 11 o'clock, per the text message at 11 o'clock. I'm going to work on getting some more videos out. I have a maps video, but I mean, it's just a screen recording a map. So we'll probably break that out tomorrow. And tonight I'll work on fitting in the new unredacted parts to the old interviews and try to release that on the 12th day of Never. That's where I'm at with it. Or they didn't. That it's all lies. Later, she doesn't say they watched Sister Act. Right. It's left out. So why is the story changing so much? Can somebody tell me that? World War III and pop culture is what she's worried about, right? Hey, no. Unfortunately, I've got to go. We didn't get that long today because I had a lot of running around to do, but now I have to go cook dinner. So with that, I will see you guys tomorrow. I do apologize for the craziness that happened today. I will be on time tomorrow. Those things don't happen very often. So please forgive me and work with me on that. I do appreciate you guys being here. I love you all so much. Please know that you are important. You are loved and you are amazing. And give your babies hugs and kisses and tell them that they are important. I love you all and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all for the support. You guys are amazing and I really enjoy our time together. And I'm glad even though today was crazy, I got to see y'all for a little while. We will be back tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.